Hello and a very warm welcome to Sarat Chandra IAS Academy, where your dreams are our mission. This is Yatharth here. So this is in continuation in our river series. In the last lecture, we talked about the Kaveri River. I hope you have all watched that lecture and liked it. This lecture, we'll be talking about the Godavari River. We'll be employing a 3D mapping technique or Google Earth technique so that it becomes easier for you to remember the position and location of all the tributaries and all the location that are told in the lecture. We'll be covering all prelims point as well as mains point. All right, so let's start the lecture. Now the first thing that we are going to deal with is the relative position of the river in the map of India. So where is this river located in general? All right, so it is the best way to remember the position, the somewhere idea that it is somewhere close to here. So for reference, we see the Narmada here, down to the Vindhyachal ranges and then the Satpura ranges, finally coming down to the Tapti river or the Tapi river. Then there is Mahanadi. We have already covered this river as well. Okay, it is located mostly in the Odisha. Now coming down to the Godavari. So this is somewhere in between the Mahanadi and the Krishna river. Okay, Krishna is also a quite large river that drains a lot of area. This area is drained by the Krishna. Okay, but we are talking about the Godavari, which drains the middle portion of India. This portion. Alright, it empties into the Bay of Bengal. Here. Okay. So this one we already talked about, the Kaveri river, which flows into the southernmost part of India. Okay, so we are talking in this lecture about the Godavari. Let's come down further. Just a second. Now we have this empty map of India. So what did we see? That Mahanadi is located here in this region. This is our Mahanadi. Now we are talking about the somewhere idea. Okay, so the Godavari is located here in the Nashik. It originates in the Nashik, Trambakeshwar mountain, Brahmagiri ranges. Alright, goes down like this to the Telangana, flows here, then comes back to the Maharashtra, and then finally enters the Andhra Pradesh like this. Okay, and goes to the Bay of Bengal finally. So this encompasses our basic idea that Godavari flows somewhere here. Okay, between this area. Godavari flows between this area. So how many state it is covering approximately? It is covering something from Odisha, something from Chhattisgarh as well, something from Maharashtra, something from Telangana, and also the Andhra Pradesh. So at least 5 states its basin is covering. 5 states is covered by its basin. Now let us introduce to the Godavari. So Godavari is India's second longest river. So first is Ganga. Furthermore, we see its basin is the third largest. After which two rivers? The Ganga as well as the Indus River. Alright. So covering about 10% of India's total geographical area. The Godavari River originates from the Brahmagiri mountain ranges in the Trambakeshwar temple area of Nashik district in Maharashtra. So whenever you are not able to, let's say, remember completely, just remember Maharashtra with Godavari. Alright, further if you want to remember, then Nashik. Further, Trambakeshwar temple area or Brahmagiri ranges, okay, of the western Ghats. So from here, Godavari is coming. It is just located 80 km away from the Arabian Sea. Okay, so it tells a lot about the slope of India. Alright, so exact spot where the river originates is known as the Gangadwar or Ganga Sagar and is considered to be sacred site by the Hindus. Okay, now let's see. This is the origin of the Godavari river. Let me just change the pen color. Okay, so this is the origin of the Godavari river, also known as the Gangadwar. Okay, now what we see, this is located very close to the Arabian Sea, only 100 kilometers away. And rather than flowing towards this side, it goes 1500 kilometer away, 1500 kilometer away, 15 times more to the Bay of Bengal. Okay, and through here it makes a cut towards the Maharashtra, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh side. Alright, let's move further and see. Here you see the origin of the Godavari. These are the little hills you see. Alright, so what happens that before Godavari becomes a full river, it is just a very small stream, but it is last traced to this point. So whenever water collects here from the mountain ranges, due to the monsoon in the Western Ghat. These are the Brahmagiri ranges of the Maharashtra, Nashik district. So what happens? It flows from this side, goes to this Godavari Udgam Sthan. All right. And then this is the Trambakeshwar temple. Then flows through here and makes a river course like this here. This is the Godavari river course. Alright, and it keeps flowing, keeps joining multiple tributaries and drains the area. So this is a natural formation. This is the picture of what happens when there's a lot of monsoon in the Godavari. Okay, a lot of monsoon in the temple area or Trambakeshwar mountain ranges area. This is also a tourist spot. You can see multiple people here visiting this waterfall like formation. Okay, so this is the last origin point of Godavari. Further than this point towards the west, Godavari cannot be found. Alright, there's no existence of Godavari further than this. So what we see here is, just a second, its source is in Trambakeshwar, Nashik, Maharashtra. It flows east for 1465 km. This we already know. Draining the states of Maharashtra, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Odisha. And one union territory which is Puducherry, the Yanam portion. Okay, there are 3-4 portions of the Puducherry. There's Mahe, there's Karaikal, then there is Yanam also. So this is in the Yanam portion of the Andhra Pradesh. The river ultimately empties into the Bay of Bengal through an extensive network of distributaries. Okay, it does not have a definite endpoint that here it ends into the Bay of Bengal directly. No, it makes different 7 distributaries. Okay, 5 plus 2, and makes a delta type region. The Koringa mangrove forest are located there in this delta region, and it goes finally towards the Bay of Bengal. So the delta region is total delta region is around 3,12,812 square kilometer. It forms one of the largest river basins in the Indian subcontinent, with only the Ganga and Indus River having a larger drainage basin. Okay, so in terms of the length, catchment area and discharge, Godavari is the largest in peninsular India, has been dubbed as the Dakshin Ganga. So it is the most major river of the peninsular India. After this comes the Krishna, then comes the Kaveri, and the of the least importance we can say is Mahanadi. All right. So here we see the exact position. So how many things we can spot here, and we'll keep reading about all these as we further down in the lecture. So this is the Trambakeshwar mountain range in the Nashik. So this is where it originates. All right, flows through this is the main course of the river. It flows through Maharashtra here, then crosses the Telangana here, across its northern side, and then goes back to the Maharashtra for a little while, and then finally comes into making the boundary of Chhattisgarh and Telangana. It comes into the Andhra Pradesh here. Okay, and finally it goes towards this Antravedi and the Koringa mangrove forest and goes into the Bay of Bengal. All right, there are multiple tributaries you can see. The Pravara, this is the longest tributary of the Godavari, and very, very important. All right, it comes from here directly. Then there is the Purna, Panganga, Vardha, Venganga. All right, multiple tributaries are there. These are the most important ones. There is Manjira. All right, Manjira is very, very important here. It makes a Triveni Sangam. All right, from here, this point. Okay, so this is Godavari main course. You can see multiple. Pranita is also there. Okay, Maner is also there, Kinnar Soni, and there are few small tributaries as well. Okay, we'll be seeing them when we go further. Now let's talk about the course of this river Godavari, the main points. So as it flows from the Maharashtra down to the Telangana, we'll see what important points does it touch or cover. What important locations does it cover, which can be asked into the prelims directly. Alright, so as Godavari originates in the western ghats of central India, near Nashik in Maharashtra, 80 km from the Arabian Sea, this we already know. It flows for 1500 km first eastward and then the turn southeast. So this also we already know, eastward and southeast. Entering the Iluru district and Alluri Sitaraman Raju district of Andhra Pradesh. This was a famous personality, Alluri Sitaraman Raju. So please read about him. Until it splits into 2 distributaries that widen into a large river delta, finally at the Dhavaleshwaram barrage in Rajamahendram, and then flows into the Bay of Bengal. So this is the end point, main course. Alright, but let's divide it into 3 sections for better understanding. One is the upper course. Okay, source to the confluence with the Manjira. Middle course is confluence of Manjira further and Pranhita, and lower is Pranhita confluence to the mouth. Alright, so these are very important tributaries, Manjira and Pranhita. We'll see about them. So let's talk about the Maharashtra. So it originates in Maharashtra, that is truth. The first thing. So upper basin origin to its confluence with Manjira. Confluenced with Manjira. So how do we remember here? Maharashtra and Manjira. M and M. Okay, Mama. So which lies entirely within the state. Now within Nashik district only, the river flows into the Gangapur reservoir, very important reservoir. Alright. And with the Kashyapi dam provides potable water to which city? Nashik. So if somebody asks you that Gangapur reservoir as well as Kashyapi dam which provide the potable water to city of Nashik are built on which river? Answer is Godavari river. Answer is Godavari river. Alright, the river forms two significant waterfalls here, the Gangapur and the Someshwar waterfalls, also known as the Dudhsagar waterfall. So if somebody asks you again, on which river the Dudhsagar waterfall is located, answer is again Godavari river. Godavari river. Okay, let's see a picture of these things. So it's quite a large waterfall here. This is the Gangapur, Bandsagar or Gangapur reservoir. Okay, and this is the very small barrage opening. This is also the barrage opening. So this is the Godavari river further flowing area, further flowing course. Okay, so it is located on the Godavari river, quite large in the size. All right, let's go further. It is in the Nashik districts, please remember. Okay. Secondly, what we see after the Gangapur reservoir, here we see the Someshwar waterfall. Okay, both are located very close within 5-6 kilometer area. This is the Someshwar waterfall, also known as the Dudhsagar waterfall. Dudhsagar waterfall. Okay, because of the milky color that it produces here. Okay, so I hope it's interesting to learn like this for you rather than just reading the names of the points. Okay, now coming down about 0.5 kilometers south of Nashik, the river bends sharply to the east. And about 25 kilometers below Nashik, the confluence of Godavari in one of its tributaries, the Darna. Okay, this is not a very big tributary, but it gives a lot of water to the Godavari. So this place is toppled with a deep layer of black soil. Please remember the type of soil found here, black soil. Okay, now a few kilometers after its meeting with the Darna, the Godavari soars to the northeast before the Banganga. Now this is not the Banganga tributary of Gambhiri. Okay, it is Banganga tributary of the Godavari. It is still in the Nashik district. Okay, meets it on the left. The course of the main stream then tends more decisively south. So first it goes east, then the south. All right. So what we see here, the Darna river, just a second. This is all going on in the Maharashtra only, please remember, near the Nashik district or in the Nashik district. So this is the Darna river. It goes here and meets the Godavari river, which is coming from here. Okay, now it goes decisively south. So first it was going east, now meets the Darna and goes toward the south. There is one more river which is known as the Kadwa river. So we'll see that also. Okay, where is the Kadwa river? This is the Kadwa river. It comes like this. I hope it is very interesting for you to see all this. Alright, mix into the Darna river and both further mix into the Godavari. So these, you can see the fields here, multiple cropping fields here. Okay, these are the rivers which eliminate the thirst of our fields, which irrigate our fields, which gives us the final crops. So seeing this is very important and interesting, I hope. So we see the Kadwa river and the Darna river here, which finally flow into the Godavari. Now, just a second. Okay, so the Kadwa is second large affluent, brings considerable increase to the waters of the Godavari. So from here, the Godavari becomes a bigger river. Alright, its width increases. So the river begins its southeasterly course, characteristic of river of the Deccan Plateau. Furthermore, what we see in other two districts, the Ahmednagar and Aurangabad. So along the boundary here, it receives its first major tributary, the Pravara river. Very big and very important tributary, the Pravara. So which district the Pravara river drainage? Ahmednagar. Alright. The confluence is located as the Pravara Sangam. Now furthermore, by virtue of the sub-tributary of Pravara, that is Mandohol, which originated in the Pune district, the basin impinges the Pune district. So it is also covering the Nasik, Ahmednagar, Aurangabad and Pune district in Maharashtra. So the river at the Patan has been impounded by the Jayakwadi Dam, forming the Nath Sagar reservoir. Very important. Now we see one important point for prelims here, that the Kalsubai, located in the Godavari basin here, is the highest peak in Maharashtra. So which is the highest peak in Maharashtra? Kalsubai, and located in basin of which river? Godavari river. Please remember this. Okay, so what we see? Pravara. coming from here. We read about this Pravara river. It is joining here, and then the Purna and Manjira, etc. We'll see in further. Okay, so Pravara is the one that we are talking about here. It is the first large tributary to join the Godavari, Pravara. Please remember. Okay, here is the Kalsubai peak, which I am talking about. That it is the largest, highest peak of the Maharashtra. Kalsubai peak. This is the Kalsubai peak. It is the highest peak of Maharashtra. So our India is so amazing if you see it very deeply, rather than just reading out the names. That Kalsubai peak. Okay, this you can see here how it is formed. Okay, like this, and it is the highest peak in Maharashtra, located in the basin of Godavari. Okay, furthermore, we come to the next districts known as the Beed and the Jalna. So why do we see here? Okay, what do we found here? That located along here is a merger with the Sindhfana, another small tributary of Godavari, an important tributary which drains a considerable large area within the Beed district. Within the last taluk of district Parvani, Purna, the river drains a major tributary of the same name, Purna. So major tributaries we saw two, Pravara as well as Purna. Pravara as well as the Purna. Okay, so it then exists into the neighboring district of Nanded, where 10 km between reaching the now Nanded, not important. But now what is important? Impounded by the Vishnupuri Dam, thus makes it India's largest lift irrigation project to life. So if somebody asks you, India's largest lift irrigation project, the Vishnupuri Dam is located on which river? Okay, the answer is Godavari. Answer is Godavari again. So how many important locations we have seen till now? All right. Again, we move further. Little downstream from Nanded in the Maharashtra only. The river receives Asna, very small tributary again. A small stream on its left bank runs into the controversial Bubbly project. So which two states are having controversy here? Telangana and Maharashtra. Telangana plus Maharashtra. Soon end its course within the Maharashtra, albeit temporarily, because it will come back to Maharashtra once more, and its merger with the major tributary Manjira. Okay, so Pravara, Purna and Manjira. Three tributaries we have seen. Pravara, number 1, Purna, number 2, and finally the Manjira, number 3 here. 1, 2, and 3 here, making the boundary with the Telangana. Okay, so it finishes its course in the Maharashtra. Okay, now we see the Vishnupuri Dam here. Which dam do we see here? Vishnupuri Dam. So Asia's, just a second, what we were reading? Asia's largest lift irrigation project. Just a second. Okay. Asia's largest lift irrigation project located on which river? Godavari river. You can see here. Such a wide river here. Alright, on this Vishnupuri Dam. Okay, so last dam it sees in Maharashtra. And then it is the Bubbly Barrage. Very controversial project between, on which river? Godavari river again. Between the Maharashtra and the Telangana. Okay, very important. You can see the bridge and the barrage here. Okay, let's move forward. So the river after flowing into the Telangana, so naturally that flows into Telangana from here, remerges to run as a state boundary separating the Mancherial Telangana from Gadchiroli of Maharashtra. At the state border, it runs between Sironcha and Sumur Sangam, receiving one tributary at each of the nodal points, Pranhita and subsequently the Indravati. So how many tributaries we have seen till now? Pravara, Manjira, Pranhita, Indravati. Okay. So we see here multiple important Pranhita here, okay, and Indravati here. So it receives Pranhita here and Indravati here. So 4 and 5, very important. And Maner also here, okay, Maner also here. There's one more named the Haridra, okay, in the Godavari basin only. So we see again the important Pravara, Manjira, Purna, okay. Now these Panganga, Vardha and Venganga, they mix in the Pranhita first. They are tributaries of the Pranhita. Pranhita is very long river itself, and then it merges into the Godavari finally. So do not underestimate its length and importance. Okay, Maner we see here, and Manjira, Pravara, Purna we have already seen. The Penganga, Vardha and Venganga tributaries of Pranhita. Pranhita goes into the Godavari at this Traveni Sangam. Alright. Furthermore, we see the Indravati as well, another river which goes into the Godavari. Now two only remaining, very small, Sabri and Kinnara Soni, major tributaries we have covered. Alright. Now let's talk about its course in the Telangana. So we'll deal with this in another lecture, the last part Telangana and Andhra Pradesh part, and we'll be dealing with the PYQ discussion as well. So stay tuned for the second part. Thanks you very much. This is Yatharthya signing off. I hope you have a great day ahead. Study well, and please leave your feedback on whether or not this technique is interesting for you, the one that we have employed. We'll continue this lecture in the second part. Thank you very much.